Now that we've learned how to create basic charts, in this video we'll look at how to create some advanced charts in Excel. We'll first create tree maps, then scatter charts, and lastly, histograms. Please note that the price and resale values in this sample dataset are not real and are merely used for explanatory and demonstration purposes. Let's start with tree maps. A tree map chart is used to compare values across hierarchy levels and show proportions within hierarchical levels as rectangles. Tree maps are a good way of displaying lots of data in one graphical asset because they use the color and closeness of proportional shapes within the chart to represent hierarchical data categories, which is a difficult thing to achieve with most other types of chart. In the tree map worksheet of the car sales workbook, let's first select the data from two non-adjacent columns, model and unit sales. Now let's create a tree map chart with this data. We select Tree Map Chart from the Hierarchy category of the Charts group. We now see a floating chart area containing our tree map chart, which displays the proportion of the unit sales of Ford cars within hierarchical levels as rectangles. Let's change the chart title to Unit Sales of Ford Cars, which we can do by simply double-clicking the chart title text box and editing the text. Let's change the chart style to customize the look of the tree map chart. There are numerous styles to choose from in the gallery. For example, here we've chosen Style 2. We can easily see from this tree map chart that the F-Series model is by far the biggest proportion of our Ford car sales, followed by the Explorer and Taurus models, which constitute a similar proportion of our Ford car sales, while the Contour model shows the smallest proportion of Ford car sales. Next, let's have a look at scatter charts. A scatter chart is a type of graph used to compare two sets of numerical data values and show relationships between those sets of numerical values. A scatter chart combines the two sets of values on the x and y axis into single points of data, and then displays them in clusters in the chart. For this reason, you will also sometimes see them referred to as XY charts. Common uses include the comparison of statistical, scientific, or engineering data values. To create our scatter chart, let's first select the data from two adjacent columns, price and year resale value, in the scatter worksheet of the car sales workbook. Now let's create a scatter chart with this data. We select scatter chart from the XY scatter category of the charts group, which compares the price of cars from all manufacturers with their year resale value. Let's change the chart title to Comparing Price with Year Resale Value, which we can do by simply double-clicking the chart title text box and editing the text. Let's change the chart style to customize the look of the scatter chart. There are numerous styles to choose from in the gallery. For example, here we've chosen Style 8. Now let's add some axis titles for both the horizontal x-axis and the vertical y-axis. We'll call the horizontal Retail Price and the vertical Year Resale Value. We can see from this scatter chart that as the retail price increases, so does the differential between the retail price and the year resale value. Generally speaking, the lower-priced cars retain their resale value after 1 year better than the higher-priced cars. Lastly, let's have a look at histograms. A histogram is a graph that shows the distribution of the data grouped into bins. Although a histogram may look like a column or bar chart, it's totally different. While a bar chart is used to compare data, a histogram is used to display distribution of data. To create our histogram, let's first select the data from two non-adjacent columns, model and price, in the histogram worksheet of the car sales workbook. Now let's create a histogram with this data. We select histogram from the statistical category of the charts group. The new floating chart area contains our histogram, which displays frequency distribution of the price of cars from all manufacturers. Note how Excel automatically puts the different price ranges into 9 equally sized separate bins for you. The first bin contains cars priced between $9,235 and 18,635. The second bin contains cars priced between $18,635 and $28,035, and so on, up to a maximum price range of $84,435 to $93,835. Let's change the chart title to Count of Car Models by Price Range, which we can do by simply double-clicking the chart title text box and editing the text. Let's change the chart style to customize the look of the histogram. There are numerous styles again to choose from in the gallery. For example, here we've chosen Style 3. This style shows the count values of the individual rectangles for each price range rather than using a vertical scale on the y-axis. So, from this histogram chart, we can easily see that the largest proportion of car models are in the $18,635 to $28,035 price range, with a count of 62 models in this range, followed by the cheapest price range of $9,235 to $18,635, which has a count of 42 models, and the fewest count of models in a price range is shared by the two most expensive price ranges with only one model in each bin. Although Excel chooses your bin ranges automatically when you create a histogram, you can change the bin sizes to suit your needs. This is done by opening the formatting pane for the relevant chart element, in this case, the horizontal axis. In the Axis Options section, you can choose to display bins by several factors, including bin width and by number of bins. For example, when we change the bin width value, you can now see 15 bins in the chart because the price ranges are much narrower. Bins 2 and 3 have the two highest counts of 34 and 33 respectively, and bin 14 shows no models in this price range at all. And if we change the axis options to display a set number of bins, then the histogram updates again to show the price ranges split into the number of bins specified. That is 10 bins, and once again we can see that bin 2 has the largest proportion of models in its price range. And if we choose automatic, then the histogram reverts back to the format we started with. In this video, we learned how to create tree maps, scatter charts, and histograms in Excel. In the next video, we'll look at some of the other advanced charts available in Excel, like filled map charts and sparklines. In this video, we'll look at some more advanced charts in Excel. We'll first create a filled map chart, and then add sparklines to our data. And lastly, we'll briefly discuss some of the other charts available in Excel. Let's start with filled map charts. A filled map chart is a type of chart used to compare values and show categories across geographical regions. This chart is suitable for data which contains geographical regions like countries, states, or postal codes. In the map chart worksheet of the Car Sales Workbook, let's first copy data from the pivot table containing country of sale and sum of unit sales. Then we'll paste the copied data beside the table. Now let's create a filled map chart with this data. After selecting the data, we select Filled Map Chart from the Map category of the Charts group. The new floating chart area contains our filled map chart, which displays the sum of unit sales of cars across different countries of sale. Let's change the chart title to Sum of Unit Sales of Cars by Country, which we can do by simply double-clicking the chart title text box and editing the text. Let's change the chart style to customize the look of the filled map chart. There are numerous styles to choose from in the gallery to suit your preference. We can see from this filled map visualization that the darker blue color, which denotes the larger number of unit sales, is covering the United States, while the paler blue colors, which denote medium numbers of unit sales, are covering areas such as Canada, Western Europe, and Scandinavia. And the almost white color, which denotes the lowest number of unit sales, is predominantly covering Eastern Europe, India, Japan, and Australia. Next, let's have a look at sparklines. Sparklines are mini charts placed inside single cells to represent a selected range of data. They are typically used to show data trends, such as seasonal increase or decrease, economic cycles, and share, rate, or price fluctuations. They can also be used to highlight max and min values. A sparkline provides the greatest impact when it is placed close to the data it represents. To create our sparklines, let's first select data from the 4 adjacent columns: Unit Sales Q1, Unit Sales Q2, Unit Sales Q3, and Unit Sales Q4 in the Sparklines worksheet of the Car Sales Workbook. Now let's create sparklines with this data. We'll select the line type of sparkline from the Sparklines group. We then need to specify where we would like our sparkline to appear on the worksheet. We can do this by either typing in the cell reference in the location range box, or better still, just click the cell in the worksheet where you want it to appear and Excel will fill it in for you. Note that it uses an absolute reference by adding dollar symbols to the cell references. And then we can copy that sparkline down the rest of the column. We now see a column containing our sparklines, which displays the trend of the unit sales of Ford cars over the 4 quarters of a year. Let's name the column header of the column with the sparklines as Quarter Sales Trends. We'll adjust the column width and also adjust the row height to display sparklines more clearly. Let's also display maximum and minimum values on the sparklines. Then change the chart style to customize the look of the sparklines. There are several styles in the gallery for you to choose from. And finally, let's adjust the weight of the lines in the sparklines to make them stand out a bit. These sparklines show us that Ford Escort unit sales started low in the first quarter, and then increased in quarter 2 and 3, then declined again in quarter 4. We can also determine that generally across the majority of the range of Ford car models, Q3 is the best quarter of unit sales over the year, with a couple of exceptions such as Mustangs in quarter 4 and Focus models in quarter 2. Lastly, let's have a look at some other available charts in Excel. The waterfall chart type is used to show cumulative effect of a series of positive and negative values. This is suitable for data which represents inflows and outflows like financial data. The funnel chart type is used to show progressively smaller stages in a process. This is suitable for data which shows progressively decreasing proportions. The stock chart type is used to show the trend of stock's performance over time. This is best suited to data with a series of multiple stock price values like volume, open, high, low, and close. The surface chart type is used to show trends in values across 2 dimensions in 3D surface areas or 2D contoured charts. This is most suitable when categories and data series are both numeric. And lastly, the radar chart type is used to show values relative to a center point and is most suitable when categories are not directly comparable. In this video, we looked at how to create filled map charts and sparklines in Excel, and we reviewed some of the other charts available. In this video, we will have a brief introduction to dashboards, including what they are, what they consist of, why they can be a useful component in a data analyst's toolkit, and an essential skill in a data analyst's skill set. The term dashboard comes from the automotive industry, where car designers have put the most important gauges and other display information, such as engine oil temperature, current speed, current RPM, amount of fuel left, and so on, in a handy graphical display that is easy for the driver to view and understand. Originally, these displays were analog, but most are now digital and use varying forms of visualization, including digital meters and mini graphs. You can take that same idea and apply it to a dashboard in a data analysis application. Designers of these types of dashboard want to put key business information in one place in the form of graphical displays to make it easier for the viewer to understand them. Dashboards can take this a step further by also allowing the user to interact with the dashboard and modify exactly what information they see by using tools supplied on the dashboard. Users of a dashboard therefore not only get a consolidated visualization of their business data and key performance indicators, or KPIs, but also get a controllable self-service business intelligence, or BI interface through the use of filters, which enable them to control precisely what information they see. Dashboards are typically created in a data analysis application by using multiple pivot tables and charts, visualizations such as map charts and sparklines, and filtering tools such as slicers and timelines. These pivot tables and charts could be created from a single data source or from multiple data sources. When you use dashboards in your data analysis application, you get the following benefits. They offer insights into your key data. They can alert you to patterns and trends in your data. They provide an interactive experience for the user, allowing them to filter what data they see. They are updated dynamically as the source data changes. They provide a centralized and consolidated view of business data. A dashboard can be a very useful tool in areas of the business such as fiscal forecasting and reporting, project management, executive reporting, human resources, customer service, help desk issue tracking, healthcare monitoring, call center analytics, social media marketing, and many more. For a budding data analyst, dashboards can be a vital skill to add to their arsenal, as the majority of employers see the dashboarding skill as a must-have rather than a nice-to-have. If you can show that you have the skills to create accomplished and spectacular, interactive, yet easy to view and use dashboards, whether in a spreadsheet application such as Microsoft Excel or Google Sheets, or using a more advanced data analysis and visualization application such as Bokeh or Dash in Python, RStudio Shiny, Tableau, or IBM Cognos Analytics, then that will greatly help you in your future career as a data analyst. In this video, we had a brief introduction to dashboards, including what they are, what they consist of, why they can be a useful component in a data analyst's toolkit, and an essential skill in a data analyst's skill set. In the next videos, we will learn how to create a simple dashboard using a spreadsheet application. In the first part of this video, we will listen to several data professionals discuss how dashboards can help when presenting data results. Can you tell us how dashboards can help you when presenting data results?
One thing I particularly love with data are dashboards. They take the fluff out and they show you the most important things that you want to see, often in real time, and you can make them as pretty as you want. I've seen some dashboards that are frankly an eyesore because of trying to cram so much data into one dashboard. So it's important to be specific and be succinct in what it is that you're looking for so that you can avoid those sorts of things. A lot of times the dashboards are great for executives or business owners on the go who are maybe looking at dashboards from a mobile device, and they don't really have the space or the capacity on a mobile device to look at so much data. And dashboards can really be highly effective in a short amount of time as long as you understand the deliverables and what it is that your stakeholder wants to see and what's important to them for purposes of making decisions.
The reason why presenting the information in a way that is palatable to your audience is important is because you want to make sure that people are getting value out of what you're doing. A lot of times I think that's why data analysts in general get a bad rep, because people think we're just number crunchers. I think the bigger problem is we haven't done as good of a job as we could to really explain the numbers. And so that's where PowerPoint presentations with graphs, we love graphs, key performance indicators, maybe that break out the information in a different way and highlight what's most important. That will help. And also just making sure that you're reading the room. So if you are in a meeting and everybody's eyes are glazed over because you're talking numbers, maybe you need to ask them, what information are you looking for? What is most important to you, so that when you go back and you create your next dashboard or create your next report, you can highlight things that are important to your audience, because we always need to be reading the room. We need to make sure that we are showing our value, showing people, helping people to understand, educating them so that they can bring up their knowledge base. And so that starts to help the fear dissipate. Of the fear of the number starts to go away if we would just show them what the numbers actually mean. And we can do that not just by throwing numbers at them so they'll get overwhelmed, but by helping them to see it graphically and with dashboards and KPIs and other ways just to bring it to them and make it real to them.
Dashboards in a spreadsheet is an indicator for action. Just like on your car dashboard, if you see a low fuel light, that means you need to put gas in your car. So a dashboard in a spreadsheet should be just that simple. It should tell the person what they need to focus on immediately, or any indication that things need to change because it's either going up in the wrong direction or it's going down. But don't put information that's nice to know on a dashboard. It's on a need to know basis, especially if you want to get action.
In the second part of this video, we will listen to a data professional discuss how Cognos Analytics can help you create outstanding visualization dashboards for presenting data results. Can you tell us how you use Cognos Analytics to create visualization dashboards for presenting data results?
IBM Cognos Analytics can really help you create a better visualization and dashboards in a number of different ways. Starting off, we have our templates, allowing you to quickly select from a template and simply drag and drop your visualizations into the slots to help you create something that's visually compelling, effectively and easily. We also have what we call our visualization recommender. If you grab a couple fields, drag them onto the canvas, we'll recommend a visualization. If you don't like the one we recommend right off the bat, then you do have the ability to go in and start to select some different visualizations from our recommendations. On top of this, we also have started to infuse AI into the offering. So from this, you can start to have the system actually generate an entire dashboard for you. You can have a conversation with our assistant, ask it questions, and once you focus in on the particular area that you're interested in, simply say, generate dashboard. And at that point, you'll get a beautiful dashboard created, laid out nicely, that you can start to use as your starting point for further discussions and help you really understand the data that's in your system. A couple of the things that we wanted to highlight. One is the advanced analytic capabilities, whether this is through our visualizations like our key driver analysis or through our AI-infused forecasting. The last thing would be the ability to share your visualizations and your dashboards in just a few clicks, whether that's sharing it in the system through a link, whether it's pushing it to email, or even pushing it into a Slack channel where you can start to have a discussion there.
Now that we've learned about the basics of dashboards and why they are an essential tool for a data analyst, in this video we'll look at how to set up and configure a relatively simple dashboard in Excel, which will help us to tell a story about our data. Before creating our first dashboard, we would have first collected and organized the data, then verified that the data in our worksheet was clean, error-free, and did not contain any blank rows or columns. And then we would have formatted it as a table. Next, we would have created some pivot tables to help us analyze our data, and we would have performed some sorting and filtering on the data in our pivot tables to highlight the key aspects of our data analysis. Lastly, we would have created various data visualizations such as charts, maps, and slicers to help us tell a story about our data findings. In this example car sales workbook, we've already gone through those processes of collecting, cleaning, analyzing, and visualizing our data. And we are now at the point where we can combine that data analysis and those visualizations in a digital dashboard that will help us present our key data findings to stakeholders. The first thing we need to do is create a new worksheet to host our dashboard and give it a name. Then drag it to the end of the tabs list in the workbook. As we've already created several visualizations, we can use those to populate our dashboard. So, if we look at some of the other worksheet tabs, these contain various visualizations which we've been working on throughout this course. We can just use some of them by copying a few charts and other visualizations from there to our dashboard. We'll copy this pie chart from this worksheet and paste it to our dashboard. Then we'll grab a copy of this 3D column chart and paste that too. We'll also copy the 3D area chart from the other pivot chart sheet to our dashboard. We'll grab the tree map chart and copy that to our dashboard too. Let's copy the scatter plot chart too. We'll also copy the histogram and copy that to our dashboard worksheet. And let's take a copy of the map chart visualization too. Let's also copy the sparklines visualization to our new dashboard worksheet. Lastly, let's go back to the line pie bar worksheet and select both the line chart and the bar charts and copy them both to the dashboard worksheet. Okay, so now we have a lot of different visualizations on our dashboard. We can make things look a little better by resizing some of the visualization objects and moving them around a bit. So we've now resized some of the visualizations and moved things around. And then we could zoom out to see all the visualizations on screen. But if we remember what we heard from some of the subject matter experts during the Expert Viewpoints video, sometimes less is more. And one or two of the experts mentioned that if we provide and display too much information, the key points can sometimes get lost. So we should create a copy of this dashboard on another worksheet, and then thin down the amount of visualizations, and maybe make them more focused to highlight one or two of the more important views we want to convey. To do that, we'll first make a copy of the dashboard worksheet and move it to the end of the worksheet's tabs. On the Copied Dashboard 2 worksheet, we'll now delete a few superfluous charts. Let's first remove the tree map because that is giving us almost the same information as the pie chart. Then we can remove the 3D column chart because that has essentially the same data as the 3D area chart. And let's also lose the scatter plot, histogram, and the sparklines because they aren't really key to our message. Let's copy the slicer from the line pie bar worksheet to our dashboard to give us some interactivity. Now let's zoom back out and do some arranging and resizing to these visualizations to make the dashboard look a little sharper. So now we've rearranged and resized the visualizations to make the dashboard look a little leaner and tidier. We should also make some style and color changes to give our dashboard a more consistent look and feel. We'll apply the same style to all the chart elements. So we'll apply a dark gray style and monochromatic green colors to the 3D area chart, and the line chart, and the pie chart, and the bar chart, and the map chart, and we can recolor the slicer too to fit in with our color scheme. Now things look a lot better and more professional, and the last thing we should do is remove some of the Excel interface elements and other bits of unnecessary screen clutter to give us a nice clean looking dashboard. We can remove screen clutter such as grid lines, the formula bar, and headings. And we can collapse the ribbon too, and that should do it. Now, when we either present this dashboard or email it to a key stakeholder, it includes some interactivity via the slicer and also via the filterable pivot chart. If we use the slicer to select several Ford car models, all three charts that are related to that data get updated at the same time. We can modify filters in the 3D area chart to display only Ford cars instead of Chevrolets. And if we switch to the Pivot Chart 1 worksheet, we can see that the original data has also been updated with this new filter. And when we make changes to the original source data, such as increasing the value of unit sales of cars in Australia, the map chart visualization in this worksheet updates and the Australia turns dark blue. But also, the map chart visualization in the dashboard gets updated too. So we can see that Australia is now dark green on this map chart. All of this shows how live and interactive the data in our dashboard is. Creating a clean, focused, and interactive dashboard can be a major asset when trying to tell a story about data. In this video, we learned how to set up and configure a relatively simple dashboard in Excel, which will help us to tell a story about our data. In the next video, we will get an introduction to IBM Cognos Analytics Data Analysis and Visualization Business Intelligence Platform.
Thank you for watching our video. We hope you found it helpful. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button below and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. If you know someone who could benefit from this information, please share it with them. We would love to hear your thoughts on this learning course, so please leave a comment below. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.